This video is gonna have Crisis on Infinite Earth spoilers. Just be aware. Now let's begin. So as we saw in Crisis on Infinite Earth in the CW crossover, we saw that Oliver Queen has become the Spectre. I was not aware of this character. This character is new to me. So I went ahead and I did some research and I wanted to explain a little bit about this character. You know, where he came from, what he can do, and what I think it means for this crossover. So this character, the Spectre, he first debuted in February of 1940. And I want to give just a short story about it. Basically, Jim Corrigan, a cop, he was on his way to his fiancée for an engagement party. And on the way there, he's murdered by thugs. He's murdered by thugs, they kill him, and they put him in a barrel, fill him with cement, throw him in the water. Now, if that's not tragic, I don't know what it is. That's just crazy. But anyway, in the afterlife, his spirit refuses. He refuses to go on. So he's sent back to Earth as a different entity to eliminate evil. And this what he really becomes is the Spectre. When he comes back as the Spectre, he goes after these dogs. The first one that he touches turns into a skeleton right when he touches it. And then he breaks up his engagement. Because when he's back, when he's alive again, he has the body of Jim Corrigan. However, we all know who he really is. He's the Spectre. Now, what can this character do? Well, let me give you a few things that he's done. He has fought Black Adam in the past. He has invaded his kingdom. He has caused a plague of destruction. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dr. Fate. Very powerful character in the DC universe. I'm very familiar with that one. The Spectre imprisoned Dr. Fate in his helmet. Raven from Titans. She can no longer control her powers because of him. And he's also destroyed Atlantis, the home of Aquaman. So as you can see, the Spectre has all the abilities of a god. He can pretty much, I think he can wipe the Monitor in the CW. I mean, he can manipulate time, space, control all matter, limitless strength. He can do anything that he wishes to do. I mean, there are rules that he has from whoever gave him his powers. There can be consequences. So he has a code. He cannot hurt the innocent unless he's tricked into it. But if he goes too far, there will be consequences for him. But if you want to give some weaknesses to this character, I mean, he needs a human host. So that's why he needs Jim. It requires a lot, but I mean a lot of magic to defeat him, or to at least stand against him. And like I said before, he has to report back to the boys. That's another character in the DC universe, and he pretty much has to follow a code, some sort of law to keep him in check. But this guy is basically somebody with an enormous amount of power, which now, after talking about who the character is, bring me all the way back to the CW crossover. Because now it makes sense why Oliver Queen was killed in the first episode. Now it makes sense. He's on a journey to become the Spectre. They tease us with the Lazarus Pit, and I was excited about that. But now that I understand the Spectre, now I know what direction they're going. If you follow Crisis on Infinite Earth, if you read some of the comics, you know what the Spectre can do to the Anti-Monitor. Now, what I think is going to happen in the actual crossover, well, Oliver will become the Spectre all the way, and I think he's going to end up in the Vanishing Point with the 7 Paragons, and somehow they're going to take the fight to the Anti-Monitor somehow. And based on what I know now, I think now Oliver can literally wipe the floor with the Anti-Monitor. Because like I said, the Spectre has so much power that he can literally create his own universe. or multiple Earths. So you see where this is going. Oliver dies on episode 1. There's a journey to bring him back, and then they throw us a curveball. And now, the way that I see it, the way that Oliver Queen is gonna go out, going from a very grounded Green Arrow show to now becoming a god. There's no other way to describe what he's going to become at the end of this crossover. So by doing that, this is genius actually, because by doing that, the CW can bring him as they wish, because he can be at any time, at any place in the universe with all this power. He can do what he wishes, if he wants to come back or if he doesn't want to be there. So let's see how this plays out and how the CW is going to handle this. But it's a good way to send off the Green Arrow. It sucks that the Green Arrow would no longer be with us, but what he's going to become, or he has already become, is a great ending for the character. Now that you know a little bit more, if you didn't know before, about the Spectre, what do you think? How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments. See you next time.